What are you going to have between now and just the near future?
Co se stane mezi nynějškem a blízkou budoucností?
You're going to have a spiritual wave that is the biggest spiritual awakening the world has ever had in the next few years during this generation of millennials and Z generation.
Bude tady obrovská vlna probuzení, která
This
tu
is
nikdy
an
nebyla.
amazing thing. The Lord has given us something
A Bůh nám něco dal.
because his increase of the move of God through Christ always will continue.
A tak to boží hnutí skrze Krista bude vždycky pokračovat.
Let me explain what I mean.
Já vám to vysvětlím.
Dr. Ralph Winters had done a study over 2,000 years.
A doktor Ralph
Not that he was there 3,000 years.
studii za 2000 let.
And also David Barrett, the editor of the Christian World Encyclopedia, they all agree on this. And Winters and I, in 1980, we were both speaking to 4,000 young people out in Singapore.
A my jsme v roce 80 mluvili ke 4
We're on
000
the
lidí v Singapuru.
front row, and he's being introduced, and he's showing me paper and pencil
A ukazoval mi
of the years for 2,000 years,
nějaký graf 2000 let dozadu.
and the increase against the increase of the population.
Ukazoval mi růst populace.
It was absolutely amazing
Bylo úžasný.
that we are growing faster on a ratio than the population is growing.
Že křesťanství roste rychleji než populace.
Now, Isaiah 9 verse 6 says that will be.
A Izajáš 9:6 to říká.
Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given.
Syn nám bude dán.
And the government will be upon his shoulders.
A vláda bude na jeho
His
ramenou.
government's a kingdom, and we're citizens.
A my jsme
And to the
království.
increase of his government,
A my jsme občané.
there will be no end.
A nebude mít konce jeho vláda.
It's going to keep on increasing.
A bude stále růst.
And so he was showing me
Ukazoval mi ten
the
graf.
increase of the followers of Jesus is growing faster than population.
Že nárůst následníků křesťané je
I'll
rychlejší než
take
nárůst
4
populace.
highlights. 100 years after Christ,
400 let po Kristu.
1 out of 360 were now believers
Byl křesťanem jeden z
in all
300
the
lidí.
world. By 1,000 years after Christ, 1 out of 220 were now believers.
A potom v roce 1001 ze 120,
Now remember when the Reformation came,
pak přišla
we
reformace.
see the increase of population by 1900 reached 1 billion people for the first time in all of history.
Miliarda lidí přišla do roku 1800 žila.
So what would be the ratio?
A jaký byl ten
It's
poměr?
1 out of 27.
Jeden z 27 byl křesťan.
Jesus is winning.
A Ježíš vítězí.
You got that?
Rozumíte?
And so by 1980,
A
that's when we were speaking, he had just finished,
v roce 1980
it was 4.8 billion people,
bylo už 4,8 miliardy lidí.
3.8 added in only 80 years.
Za 80 let 3,8 miliardy.
And the ratio was 1 out of 10
A už to byl jeden z 10.
followers of Christ.
Následovník
But
Ježíše.
cultural Christianity,
Ale kulturní křesťanství.
you know, I'm a Norwegian, I'm a Christian therefore,
No, já jsem to narodil v křesťanské rodině.
or I'm a Swiss, I'm therefore Christian. Well, look, cultural Christianity, that'd be 1 out of 4.
Byl jenom jeden ze 4.
Now that's not all bad,
To není špatný,
because they have imbibed the Word of God in their government, in their culture.
protože nějak pořád
But
to
they're
boží
not
slovo
followers of Christ personally.
osobně nenásledují Krista, ale Bible tam je.
Understand what we're saying here.
Já tady říkám,
When you turn, and in this decade,
když půjdeme do dalších
we're going to reach 8 billion people population.
bude 8 miliard lidí na zemi.
Now, because of the prophecy from Christ onward, the increase would be no end.
A potom ten růst nebude mít konce podle toho proroctví.
This ought to excite you.
A to by vás mělo nadchnout.
What are you going to have between now and just the near future?
Co se stane mezi nynějškem a blízkou budoucností?
You're going to have a spiritual wave that is the biggest spiritual awakening the world has ever had in the next few years during this generation of millennials and Z generation.
Bude tady obrovská vlna probuzení, která
This
tu
is an
nikdy nebyla.
amazing thing. Now we'll see a few signs of it. If they'll give me a picture of some waves. You got a wave back there?
A máme pár takových znamení.
Now with this you'll see him being pulled up by a jet ski. That's a more mature YWAMer. And here's the younger generation.
Tady vidíte tu mladou
He
generaci.
hangs on till he feels the energy behind him. Toby, one of the big wave riders, told me, he's Christian. But young people should stay on their own surfboard. Don't try to stay on somebody else's.
A mladí lidé stojí
Last
na
night,
skateboardu.
I had a little candle like this, it's that high, and I had a young boy, 8 years old, and he had a big tall candle, and I said, I can light your candle, but you can't have mine.
Moje svíce už je
I
malá,
can
ale
give you my torch. I can light your torch.
můžu zapálit někomu tu jeho velkou svíci.
Now, the knowledge of the glory of the Lord is going to cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. Think of the white as the glory of the Lord. Now, it's going to catch up with you because you're out there and ahead of it.
A znalost Hospodina
But
bude
don't stop and build 3
pokrývat zemi,
tabernacles,
jako moře
Matthew
pokrývá
17.
zemi.
Come on out. Get ahead where we're not.
A teďka běžme tam, kde
If you're
nejsme.
just going to go where we are and say, oh, they're having another revival, I'll go over there. Oh, I'll go over there. Come on. Go where it's not.
Běžte
So
tam, kde
that it
není.
will come. And how do we do that?
Jak to dělat?
Well, we obey the word of the Lord.
Posloucháme Boží slovo.
So how do we obey the word of the Lord?
Jak ho
Get the
posloucháme?
word of the Lord out there.
Běžte
In the gospel, that's Mark 16:15.
evangelium, Mark
To every
15.
creature, that's demographics.
A kažte všemu stvoření.
And then Matthew 28.
Potom Matouš 28.
What you do is you baptize, baptizo.
Budete křtít.
Now, this chef before Christ, he said, you take a cucumber and you soak it over a long period of time in all of these spices and so on.
Jako když vezmete okurku a pak ji máčíte v nějakým koření.
And that cucumber will become something different. It'll become a pickle.
A potom se z té okurky stane kyselá okurka.
When Jesus said, go and disciple all nations,
Když řekl Ježíš, běžte a čiňte učeníky ze všech národů,
he's not saying bapto.
tak řekl to
The
slovo,
chef said you take a salad and bapto it with vinegar and oil. That's quick. But you take a cucumber and you soak it in the Word of God.
a je potřeba a tu okurku skutečně
So he's saying
ponořit do Božího
go
slova.
and pickle all nations.
Aby kyselé okurky byly z celého světa.
That's not overnight.
To není přes noc,
That's a generational thing.
to je generační věc.
Now, you look at it,
už
it
to
used
tam
to be a
vidíte.
cucumber.
To bývala okurka.
Now, is what happens to nations
A to se děje národům.
when you pickle them, when you soak them, you marinate them
Když je namarinujete
in the Word of God.
a Božím slovem je prosáknete.
And even their vocabulary.
Dokonce i ten
In a
slovník.
nation, that has had the Word of God, you say to them, wow, that's a David and Goliath thing. They know what you mean.
A dokonce i ty národy, kteří znali Boží slovo,
You say that in Irian Jaya, they say, what do you mean?
co byl David a Goliáš.
Oh, we want to go to America. We want to go to England. We want to go. But why? Oh, I want a dream. It's not just a dream. It's the Word of God. That's what they're really going for.
Není to jenom sen, to
Now,
Boží
we ought to
slovo.
look at all the immigrants
Když se
right
podíváme
now
na všechno tu emigrační vlnu
in the West,
na západě,
and let's see what Brother Andrew used to tell me. I ministered with him in 5 continents. And he'd always say, if you don't go to them, they will come to you.
a bratr Andrew říkal, když nepůjdete za nimi, oni přijdou za vámi.
Voila! Welcome, bienvenue.
Vítejte.
Here they are.
A už jsou tu.
Now let's reach them.
Tak pojďme vyučovat.
You know,
Bible v každém jazyce.
just in the year, I have these statistics, just in the year of 2017, in May, there were 30,000 missionaries serving in the unreached people groups that we had named before.
V roce 2017 bylo 30 000 misionářů, kteří sloužili v nezasažených zemích nebo oblastech.
And they already had seen more than 1 million saved.
A už se tam více jak 1 milion lidí obrátilo.
They had churches in all of them.
Všude jsou církve.
With pastors.
Pastory.
And they had missionaries.
A misionáři.
But of the 30,000 missionaries that were there
těch 30 000 misionářů
by October 2017
se během několika měsíců do října, od května
there
do
were
října,
46,000 missionaries.
bylo 46 000 misionářů.
The laborers are few.
A málo
But
dělníků,
16,000 just in 5 months
ale 16
were
000
added
za 5
to the
měsíců
unreached people groups.
v těch nezasažených
Now let me tell you
skupinách.
another miracle.
A další věc, zázrak.
God said to YWAM,
Bůh řekl nám,
you know, with our Impact World Tours, we fill stadiums even twice in a night preaching the gospel in Brazil.
v Brazílii naplňujeme stadiony kázání evangelia.
We were told to take a stadium in Orlando last February.
A minulý rok v únoru jsme měli stadion v
And
Orlandu.
not announce big bands are coming, come hear them, and big, you know, well-known speakers and so on.
Velký řečníci.
Just call it the send. You want to be sent? Come.
Chcete být posláni, přijďte.
59,000 showed up.
A přišlo 59 000 lidí.
And so then we were invited, why don't you do this in Brazil?
A potom v Brazílii
So last August,
minulý
we signed up for the
srpen.
second largest soccer stadium in the world in São Paulo.
v São Paulo druhý největší fotbalový stadion na světě.
For February the 8th, that's this Saturday.
A na únor 8.
And we put out one notice on social media.
A v
Didn't
sociálních
cost
médiích
anything.
byla jenom jediná zmínka.
If you want to be sent, come to the send.
Jestli chcete být posláni, přijďte.
And if you want to have a place, you better register. And it's local currency, but $20.
A jestli chcete místo, tak se rychle
That would pay
zaregistrujte
for
asi za $20.
the rental of the stadium.
A máme stadion.
In 5 hours,
Za 5 hodin
every seat was full and the grass was full.
každé místo, i ta plocha byla zaplněna.
And we had a waiting list
A máme obrovský seznam.
within 1 week of over 100,000.
100 000 lidí.
So we rented the second stadium in Sao
No,
Paulo.
tak musíme pronajmout další stadion.
And then one more in Brasilia.
Pak další
All for this
v hlavním
weekend.
městě Brazílie.
On Saturday. From 10 in the morning to 10 at night.
Od 10 dopoledne do 10 večer.
We first get an evangelist, you know, Kalinda, he's going to be up there. And we first make sure everybody's saved.
Potřeba, aby
Yeah,
první
we had
byli
over
lidé
800
spaseni.
saved in Florida. And so make sure they're all saved. And then through the days and so on. And so I'm going there and I'm looking forward to being a part of that.
Se těším, že tam budu tam a těším se na to.
You know, at the end of the time, we tell them network now and tell us where God's sending you, where you want to go, and these are the organizations, including YWAM, and schools of DTS and so on, that you can be a part of. Now, if you don't have the vision for this, don't have the faith, you're not going to get any of these students.
A když
But
nemáte
they
pro tohle
are
vizi,
found
nemáte víru,
many places, not just Brazil, that come eventually. And so, as we do this, we really want to see a major group sign up after that 1 12-hour time. Amen?
tak chceme vidět velkou skupinu
We
lidí.
still have a lot of on the waiting list.
A pořád je mnoho lidí na tom čekajícím seznamu.
Several thousand.
Pořád.
So it looks like outside, and this is what we had to do in Orlando. We'll have to put up, some kind of closed circuit TV and so on.
A tak
So
když jsme byli
that's
v Orlandu a lidi se nedostali na stadion, tak jsme tam měli obrazovky venku.
These people, these young people,
A byli tam mladí lidé.
they just don't know how to act
Oni nevěděli, co dělat.
because they're not even waiting. 49,000 have already written and said, we already know where we want to go. They didn't want to wait till the 8th.
49 tisíc lidí říkalo,
49,000.
49 tisíc
That
lidí.
was in December.
V prosinci.
Goodness.
To je dobrý.
Hey guys, I don't know where you're living,
Nevím, kde žijete,
but you better watch out.
ale byste si dávat pozor,
There's a move of God on.
protože Bůh jedná.
We didn't cause it.
Jsme to
We're
nespůsobili,
participating. We want to serve it.
chceme tomu sloužit a
You will
účastnit se.
serve it if you embrace the word of the Lord.
Když přijmete Boží slovo, pak můžete